Heard how they immobilise drivers unfairly. We've seen how they charge a fortune to set them free. What could we possibly do as a finale?
Time to give rogue clampers LBS Enforcement Limited the rogue traders treatment. We've invited company director Matthew Boosie to, can you guess where? That's right, a car park of this boozer in the Essex countryside. He thinks he's come to talk about providing a clamping service here.
We are about to come into contact in the next 5 minutes, we think, with a guy called Matthew Boosie, who is a company director at LBS. And therefore, just the man to speak to about his company's clamping policy, which we believe to be blackmail. We're not mincing our words today.
This isn't the first time a clamper has faced that accusation. In 2005, Darren Havell and Gordon Miller from a different clamping company were convicted of blackmail. Bristol Crown Court heard how they trapped motorists by blocking them in with a van and then demanded drivers pay up to £300 to be released. Sound familiar? Here comes LBS boss Matthew Boosie in his silver 4x4. He thinks he's coming to get a new clamping contract, but our actor, posing as a landlord, is just a diversion. He's really here so we can ask him about LBS's business practices. Normally we have lots of secret cameras with us, but today we're using the pub's CCTV. Nice. With Boosie safely tucked away in the pub, we arrive to clamp his car.
I'll introduce you to the wonderful world of clamping. You see, our happy clamper here is attaching a clamp to the wheel of Mr. Matthew Boosie, company director of LBS. We've gone to town on the graphics, as you can see, just so he gets the message, and he's under no illusion who he's dealing with.
Back in the pub, and Matthew Boosie is explaining that getting clamped can make people unhappy. Oh dear!
What do you do if somebody's going a bit potty about it?
Oh, people are, with any kind of enforcement, Bob, I mean, sometimes you're going to get some people that are not very happy, aren't you? They're not going to be having a sing and dance about it.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll have a sing and dance for us.
Do you know what? He's going to have that terrible sinking feeling when you get when you've been clamped. You ever come back to the car and it's been clamped? Oh, no.
But you know what? The moment he steps out, he spots us.
That's him.
And he's off in his flip-flops.
Matthew, are you choosing the long way home? Because it is quite a long way from here to walk.
Please. The gentleman being quite violent here.
I haven't touched you at all, Matthew. It's Matt Allwright, BBC Rogue Traders, just so they're clear.
Matt Allwright.
What is the crime exactly that's taking place here? Is it blackmail? It's not like we're extorting money out of people by blocking them into car parking spaces when they're sitting in their cars and then extorting hundreds of pounds out of them. You're kind of going backwards and forwards here, Matthew. You're not really achieving very much.
No comment whatsoever.
You've got no comment whatsoever about the hundreds of pounds you take from people. How about the £14,000 you've got outstanding in CCJs, which have not been paid to people who've gone to court and demonstrated that they were clamped unfairly?
After calling the police, Matthew Boosie calls fellow LBS director Mark Stone. This is one car park his clamping buddy may not be quite so keen to visit.
I've got Matt Allwright next to me, Mark.
Oh, is that... that must be Mark. Can we have a chat? Can I have a chat to Mark? I'd love to have a chat with Mark. I'm kind of hoping he was coming, but you're a company director. So, you know, obviously you're responsible, you know what's going on.
What would you like to ask me?
OK, I'd like to ask you how you can justify...
Put that down, Matt, and I'll answer you.
No, this is what we do. We make TV programmes. You've seen it. BBC One Rogue Traders, that's what you're on, mate. So how can you justify charging people hundreds of pounds when you've blocked them into parking spaces, you won't allow them to leave, you clamp them, and then you call a tow truck on them, and none of this is justifiable, because actually, if you're all about protecting the rights of the landowner, if you're clamping someone who would have left otherwise, then you're actually being counterproductive, aren't you? You're keeping somebody there that wouldn't have been there if you'd asked them to leave, which would have been the easy option. Right. This is where you discover that your car's being clamped.
Really?
You see the justice in that? It's called irony. Yeah? Poetic justice. There was the sign, which you ignored. How can you justify what you do?
Quite easily.
It's blackmail. You're extorting money out of people. You're extorting money out of people by making them stay in their cars where the engine's running, They're in their cars, you block them in, and then you make them pay hundreds of pounds to get away. When people take you to court, you don't even show up. This is Matthew Boosie, Company Director, LBS. Don't get caught out by him in Essex, or any of his lot.
I think we got our point across. We're about exposing rogues, not blackmailing them. So Mark Boosie releases his car with the key that we've left him. What a bunch of clampers. We received an email from LBS. They said that the term block by barrier is a legal manoeuvre. They also said our researcher was illegally parked in a private residential car park. Well, sorry, LBS. We've seen how you operate with our own eyes. And for what you did to us and many others, company directors Matthew Boosie and Mark Stone become the first faces on our new Rogues Gallery.